Hi folks, it's me once again, Robert J. E. Simpson. Thank you very much for tuning in to this latest of my, creative crisis vlogs. This is day 4, so it's now of day 4 of the blogs, so that it means it's the 21st of March 2020 as I record this. Yeah. So this is basically me trying to get my way through the crisis, trying to find something creative to do with my outlets, bearing in mind that most of my regular employment is now completely in tatters. As with so many of you folks, this is the only way we can get to survive, is to try and do something that's a little bit more inventive. So me talking about some of the things that I'm interested in doing, some of the creative stuff I've done in the past, a healthy reminder, I guess, of my own creative CV, and also talk about some of the things that influence me. Now, whenever one is feeling very, very dejected and maybe slightly depressed, as I certainly have felt a lot in some of the recent weeks, and I mean, gotta be honest, I'm pretty prone to depression anyway. Most of you are well aware of this by this point in time. But it's one of those things that in a climate like this, where all certainty is out the window, becomes more and more of a risk. So one of the things I keep on turning to is comedy. Unsurprisingly, it's something that has always brought a great thrill to me, to my life. It brings a smile on my face a lot of the time. And it's something that, whilst I have a lot of respect and admiration for, is never something that I've actually managed to do myself. As I said the other day, when Tony Slattery dragged me to do a couple of live improv bits during our shows, this part of me is thrilled because it's a chance to actually try my hand, but also there's a point of me which is also terrified because it's not something I have a lot of experience of. I once said a long time ago, I was toying very, very seriously about trying my hand at stand-up, and I do have a couple of versions of some stand-up routines that I had written out. And I remember remarking to my mother, my dear sainted mother, that I was considering trying comedy and stand up, and she says, "But Robert, you're not funny." Thanks, Mum. And that has rather sort of dissuaded me from the point of actually doing that so far. So you're all blessed, and you can thank my mum for not having my comedy crappiness launched upon you. But I do still enjoy watching other people, and probably there's nobody I have enjoyed in life more than the Goons, Spike Milligan and Peter Sellers in particular. I grew up on a diet of Peter Sellers movies on the TV, and Spike Milligan's comedy was probably the first that I remember actively laughing out loud at. There was a copy of one of the William McGonagall books knocking around the house when I was a kid, in like an old bound volume with it, and one of Harry Seacombe's volumes of autobiography, and I remember reading that and laughing out loud, being side-splittingly hilarious reading the book, and that was the start of an onward process. And I mean, Spike at that point when I was a kid was still on TV fairly regularly, so I was familiar with his voice and his work and his poetry, but it's his writing that I think that really did it for me. And getting into the Goon Show, which I did indirectly through a cassette tape that I found in a service station once of Goon Show songs. Went from that then into actually listening to the Goon Show itself properly, and just loved that flight of fancy and that bizarre surreality of things that kind of really, really... on the one hand, part of me is just attracted by the silly voices and the madness of that, but also there's a lot of subtext that there's a lot more going deeper down, and there's multiple layers. So even if you don't get it at first, there's more and more to get. So going to keep this one short today because the last one was just epic. I'm going to take a risk. The other week, before my voice went, I've been a little bit bunged up the last few days, so I'm not going to risk doing it live for you today. But the other week I was mucking around after we do our podcast recording sessions. Me and my brother Ben often spend a lot of time mucking around in the studio, putting on our silly voices, recording stuff that will never see the light of day, but it's something that we enjoy doing, and every now and then I toy with doing something together, and must be a couple of months ago, I actually managed to convince him to do a series of Goon Show sketches. We found the scripts online and we're just recounting those. But the other week I sat by myself in my own little home studio, and I ended up recording both the Peter Sellers and Spike Milligan parts of one of my favourite bits of Goon Show, Logic. And probably you all know it very, very well. And that's the What Time Is It Eccles piece. So what I'm going to play for you now is me doing their voices, trying to do that sketch by myself, and I think I found some visuals online which I'm going to use to accompany the piece, so you're not having to look at my boring face the whole way through. Be gentle on me, folks. You know I don't do this very often. I certainly have never dared to share any of my silliness before on my social media channels, but this is here for you to maybe enjoy. I don't know. It's obviously not quite as good as the original, but you know, it's passable. It's possible. I have half a notion of trying to do more Goon Show stuff in the future, and this is just my excuse to sort of be silly. My teenage years were spent doing an awful lot of Blue Bottle. I gotta be honest. I'm very partial to that, and yeah, I'm going to subject you to it now. So here you go.
What time is it, Eccles?
Just a minute. I've got it written down here on a piece of paper. A nice man wrote the time down for me this morning.
Then why do you carry it around with you, Eccles?
Well, if anybody asks me the time, I can show it to them.
Wait a minute, Eccles, my good man.
What is it, fellow?
It's written down on this piece of paper what is 8 o'clock is written.
I know that, my good fellow. That's right. When I asked the fellow to write it down, it was 8 o'clock.
Well then, supposing when somebody asks you the time, it isn't 8 o'clock.
Ah, then I don't show it to them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know when it's 8 o'clock?
I got it written down on a piece of paper.
Oh, I wish I could afford a piece of paper with the time written on.
Oh.
Here, Eccles,
Yeah?
let me hold that piece of paper to my ear, would you? There, this piece of paper ain't going.
What? I've been sold a forgery.
No wonder it stopped at 8 o'clock.
Oh dear.
You should get one of them things my granddad's got.
Oh?
His firm gave it to him when he retired.
Oh.
It's one of them things what it is that wakes you up at 8 o'clock, boils your kettle, and pours a cup of tea.
Oh yeah? What's it called?
My grandma.
Oh. Wait a minute. How does she know when it's 8 o'clock?
She's got it written down on a piece of paper.
There you go, folks. That was my take on the Goon Show's What Time Is It Eccles routine. Brilliantly crafted by Spike Milligan. I mean, his logic is just absolutely fantastic. I can't even find the right words for it. I suspect I will come back to Spike and Peter at some point during the course of these videos, but that's it for now. So if you've been enjoying any of what I've been doing, you will continue to find me on social media, Robert J.E. Simpson. I'm on Facebook. You'll also find me on Instagram under that name, and on Twitter I am at Avalard, Avalard. And you'll also find me at Cinepunked, Cinepunked. That's the other little film project that I do with Rachel Kelly and Ben Simpson and lots of other people whenever I get the chance. So yeah, until the next time, cheerio.